Okay, lads, when I say stop, you stop boxing. When I say break, take a step back. Keep your hands up, protect yourself at all times. Good luck to you both. Good luck.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Copper Box. We're all set. We start the night's boxing here with an 8-round welterweight fight between the unbeaten Eithan Jammy James from Northampton and the Bulgarian Georgi Velichkov. James stepping up, Richie, from super lightweight for the first time, and we'll see how he does with the extra poundage. And he's back in the ring after being pushed all the way by Keenan Wainwright in his last fight. That was the first time, really, that he's had to dig as he had to dig on that night. Good evening, anyway.
Good evening, Fletch. Yes, it was an interesting contest, his last one, James. But he has said that he's really struggled to make the weight, so he's made that step up to welter now. He's still quite light coming in at 10 stone 6, so he'll have to grow into the weight. But I'm sure with the height and reach that he's got, you know, it will suit him. But like I say, before he becomes a fully fledged welterweight, he'll have to put a bit more weight on. But it's early days. But he's a skillful kid, and that was a testing fight against Wainwright back in November in Telford.
Still only 22, Eithan James from Northampton. He's the significantly taller man in there. The white trunks, the mainly white trunks, trimmed with red and gold. The white trunks with the green and red on for the Bulgarian Georgi Velichkov, who comes here tonight with only 3 wins in 15 fights. He's lost 12 times. Eithan James at the moment unbeaten. He's won all 10 of his fights so far in the professional ranks on points. And everything had been pretty much straightforward and plain sailing until he ran into Wainwright last November. He was down early in that fight as well, so there are 1 or 2 questions that he does need to answer in this one this evening. He started nice and slick, though, nice and sharp, Rich. He's a fantastic boxer, Eithan James.
Lots of skills, and he obviously has got the height and reach, and you know, he can practice a few things here tonight. He's in against a shorter man, southpaw, so he looked to land that right hand, and he'll set it up obviously with that jab, and also just throwing that long lead hook around the lead hand of his opponent. That's what he's been doing. You can see a bit of red mark already. There's a bit of marking up on Velichkov's right side, and that's due to that long hook, and he gets caught himself there with a nice hook from Velichkov. So yeah, he started pretty well here.
Eithan James working behind that left jab. Final 40 seconds here of the first round. How advantageous do you think it's going to be to him, Richie, the extra weight that he's carrying tonight?
Yeah, I think you know, he'll obviously feel a lot better in himself. He said that he's been struggling to make light welter or super lightweight, should we say? But yeah, so you know, he'll feel a lot better actually in his training and preparing for this contest. But it's early days, obviously. But like I've said, he's what, 5'9.5", 5'10", so you know, he will grow into the weight, and he's got that height and reach, and that's a nice little combination there from him. That was a good end to the round for him here.
Hey, are you drinking a chocomel in there?
The one and only Chocomel. Sharing not required.
The third shot brings you away, yeah? Good. Be careful. If you freeze in front of him, he might launch them at you. And
James Conway doing the talking in the corner of Eithan James. Slick boxer, Richie. I think that the big question is whether he's going to be able to find the power as a professional to take him where he wants to go. He has to go the long route. He's had to go the long route in all of his fights so far. He's not got any real concussive power. Whether he can develop that as he goes, we'll wait and see, I suppose.
Yeah, he will have to develop it if he's going to move up in class and obviously look at titles. Then yes, he'll have to develop that power. He'll have to look at certain areas of his training. Certainly relaxation and speed has got to be looked at, but also his technique in terms of bringing an opponent onto a shot. So it's drawing the opponent, triggering the opponent off, making him come over his front foot, and then catching him and doubling that power up. So he'll have to, like I say, he'll have to look at several areas of his training program. But he's a good boxer, so that can come, and he can add to that. He's got all the main ingredients, his boxing skills. Yeah, he's a nice, neat, tidy boxer, Eithan James.
Mentioned that Velichkov has been beaten 12 times. He's lost his last 9. Of course, the last time we saw a Bulgarian in the ring on BT Sport was Yonuk Baluta in that absolute classic against Andrew Kane. So he's got plenty to live up to, Velichkov, tonight.
Is he Romanian? I think Baluta.
He is, you're right.
I think he might be Romanian.
He's OK, that gives him a pass. He can relax now.
I'll tell you what, though, Fletcher, when I was back in the 80s when I was amateur, the Romanians and Bulgarians, they were Eastern, they were behind the Iron Curtain then, and they were still communist countries, and they had brilliant fighters, they really did. And now they're obviously bringing it into the pro game, so they have a few decent fighters. But back then, yeah, they were very, very good indeed.
Eastern European, hard as nails.
Yeah, absolutely.
Halfway through the second round, 6th round of this at welterweight. Velichkov's last defeat was on the Joshua Franklin undercard 2 weeks ago against Ziad Almayouf, who we saw in Saudi Arabia, Richie, the night that Tommy Fury beat Jake Paul. So we're quickly back in the ring tonight against Eithan James, who's controlled the fight since the opening bell.
So a couple of little warning signs there for James, landing some good shots, but as he's moving away, occasionally just drops his right hand a little bit, and he's just got caught from Velichkov there as he's moving away from him. So got to listen to his corner. His corner wanted to move off to the left a little bit more. Just made that mistake of going back and lowering his hands and got caught with a shot. But they are literally, I mean, just the odd shot here and there. He's fully in control. But he might have to just bring that right uppercut through the middle and finish on that left hook and try and bring Velichkov onto that shot to double up the power.
Big challenge in the opening couple of rounds here for Velichkov is to get inside that significant reach advantage of Eithan James. Box very comfortably on the outside for as long as he wants to really tonight. And there's the bell to end the second round.
Oh, you're not going to believe this, Mo. You've won.
What?
Come on! My ticket!
I'm coming too, Mo. The wind's gone Mo's lottery ticket.
Let's do this. The National Lottery.
Welcome back to the Copper Box. It's a great night of boxing here tonight, headlined by Joe Joyce against Gilles Zhang at heavyweight. You'll see the return of Michaela Mayer. The third professional fight tonight for the exciting Moses Itauma, and Denzel Bentley defending his British middleweight title as well. That's the next fight you'll see in the ring here at the Copper Box. We've got a lot of good fights tonight, Richie.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Obviously, the main event is the big one that everyone wants to see. But yeah, there are some good contests before that as well, and Denzel Bentley is always in exciting contests. Obviously fought for that world title, so he knows what it's like now at world level, and he's back in action tonight. So yeah, good night of boxing.
England against Scotland, that one. Denzel Bentley against the Scotsman Kieran Smith for the British middleweight title. It's also an eliminator for the Commonwealth middleweight title, which is currently held by Hamza Shiraz, who's here at ringside at the Copper Box tonight. Still see the reddening around the right eye of Velichkov. That left jab of Eithan James has been nice and accurate. Flicks it out, works behind it.
Yeah, nice jab, and also that long left hook. And he's just showing his confidence now. James just switching to southpaw, so he's enjoying himself in there. And may well just go through the gears and just raise the tempo a little bit, because that was a lovely shot on the inside there, that left uppercut from him.
Well, that's the punch you were talking about, Richie. Managed to get it through for the first time. Snap the head of Velichkov back. Just opening up a little bit in the third round here, Eithan James. finding his rhythm, growing in confidence and letting his hands go.
Velichkov, Fletch, he's a tough kid. He's only been stopped the once, but he's lost his last 9, and 8 of them have been in the UK. But yeah, he's fairly tough, isn't he? So that's probably the real challenge for Eithan James tonight. Not just the victory, is to get the stoppage here, but he's got to raise the tempo and go through the gears and start putting more combinations together and overwhelm this fellow with his work rate.
He's an easy target to find, Georgi Velichkov. There's not a great deal of movement coming from him.
No, not at all. Spot on, Flex. There's no head movement. He should be moving that head from side to side and making that target area of his just a little bit harder to hit and more elusive. But no, it's quite static. Not a lot coming back. But that's a lovely uppercut again downstairs from James. That was a good shot.
Eithan James, who's finding Georgi Velichkov easy to hit here in the 3rd round. Final 10 seconds of a round that he's completely dominated. There's the very exciting Moses Itauma, 3rd professional fight tonight. Difficult challenge for him tonight, though, Richie. I think he's taken 53 seconds in total to roll over the first 2, but Konstantin Dovbyshenko, the Ukrainian who he's in with tonight, has never been stopped. So if he can get a stoppage in that fight tonight, the general consensus and opinion is that that makes a bit of a statement for the teenager.
Yeah, that'll be an impressive performance if he can do that against a man who's never been stopped. Looking forward to seeing him. He's a very skillful lad, Moses Itauma.
Nice and confident in the Eithan James corner. The copper box is filling nicely. I think a lot of people want to be here in time for Denzel Bentley against Kieran Smith, which comes next. Then it's Sam Noakes against Karthik Kumar for the Commonwealth lightweight, the WBC International silver lightweight titles. Then we get Moses Itauma, Michaela Mayer. We'll finish off tonight with Joe Joyce against Zhilei Zhang, and that could be explosive. 2 big men, and Zhang in particular, you feel, has to come out bombing against Joe Joyce. Eithan James, though, against Georgi Velichkov to start things off tonight here on BT Sport into the 4th round of 6 at welterweight, and it's been plain sailing so far for the unbeaten man from Northampton.
I think he senses that he's just got to up the tempo here. James, he started this round pretty quick indeed on that front foot, and he's looking for little mistakes from Velichkov. But yeah, it's good work again for him. But he's, like I said, Fletch, a few more combinations and just give the referee an option and a question whether to be stopping this opponent, because it's all one-way traffic and there's not a lot coming back from Velichkov.
It's a stereotypical night, isn't it, in many ways, for Eithan James as a professional. Before the Wainwright fight, the majority of, well, all of his professional fights had been fought like this. Him on the outside, peppering away with a jab, mixing up decent combinations and securing wide points victories. Looks like it's going to be the same again tonight in this one. He must want in his own mind, though, Richie, to get that first stoppage.
Yes, of course he does. No question, but at the moment he's boxing really well, and each contest that he has, he's been impressive. The last contest was a real challenge for him because he got put down early, so then it became a mental thing whether he had to get through it. And yeah, so he was tested not only physically but mentally in a I think his first 10 rounds in his last contest. So yes, he did well. He's still got to improve, of course, but again, he's putting his punches together well here, and yet he's very well schooled.
He was cut in the Wainwright fight, had some nose damage as well. Did make the point as well that when he was trying to make super lightweight that he was just taking too much out of it. He said he was spending the last 2 to 3 weeks just making the weight, so I think he's had a more relaxed build-up here getting ready to fight at welterweight than what he was doing before. Looks impressive, Richie, doesn't it, when he puts those combinations together, and there's not a great deal that Velichkov can do about them.
No, he's got good movement, he's side to side, he's coming in at different angles, variation of shots, little short left uppercut there. As he's coming forward, uppercut comes screw shot. You know, his straight shots are good, so yes, he's doing everything right at this stage.
Final preparations for the British middleweight champion, Denzel Bentley from Battersea. He was up against Glenn Riggs, Kieran Smith. Nice smile on his face, a very confident customer, isn't he? Denzel Bentley, we've had the chance to spend a bit of time with him when he's been part of the broadcast team on BT Sport. He tends to take most things in his stride, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a good kid, you know, and he's learning his craft, and a two-time British champion now. He's got a tough challenge tonight, but yeah, I like the look of Denzel Bentley. And like I said, he's tested the water at world level, so he knows what it's all about now, and he fought away from home for that, with that one. So yeah, he's a good lad, he's a good kid.
Going to be the first time we're going to see him back in the ring tonight since he failed to win the world middleweight title against Janibek last year. Eithan James up on his toes here. Start of the 5th round, penultimate round, scheduled for 6th this one at welterweight. Looks like he could fight at this pace for as long as he needs to.
Yeah, and Velichkov got real problems here because James is accurate with his shots. If he misses with the right hand, you see, that's when he can come, he can overstretch a little bit, James, but he's been catching Velichkov with that shot there. It is there, right on cue. So if he hits him with that punch, if he misses, then he falls in, and that gives Velichkov a chance. But he hasn't missed many times here, James. So he's boxing well. It's accurate, mid and long range, peppering the target. But I'd just like to see him go through the gears at some stage and throw more combinations and really test his opponent.
The left jab is such a good weapon for him because it's a nice long shot, and then he can follow it through with that straight right hand that seems to catch Velichkov whenever he throws it.
Well, he's worked well with his jab here tonight, and that's what's obviously setting up that right hand of his. A lot of coaches will say a right hand left hook is the combination against the southpaw, but you shouldn't neglect that jab, and here's an example of that. James has been working very well with his lead hand, setting up that more powerful backhand.
Super confident in there, mixing up shots to the head and body. Really good variation of punches so far tonight from Eithan James. A minute to go in the 5th.
He's in cruise control, isn't he, here, James? Really enjoying himself now, looking, just peppering his opponent, and he's looking for the openings. Just step it up a little bit, and I'll tell you, I really don't believe that Velichkov, he may not respond well here. If James was to really up the intensity a little bit and go through them gears.
It's been a good fight for him, hasn't it? First one at welterweight on the back of the Wainwright fight, which was a fight that took him into the trenches for the first time. This has been a nice, comfortable evening for him so far, where he's been able to box to his strengths and dictate the pace of the fight. And he's won every round by quite a significant margin.
Yeah, he's fully in control here, isn't he? He's setting up that backhand, and then he comes back then with finishes on his lead hand again. Here it is there, just a chopping punch, that last left hand there. Not a lot coming from Velichkov.
There's Anthony Yard, who's in attendance tonight. We wonder what's next for him after his valiant effort to dethrone Artur Beterbiev. Was this arena where he got revenge against Lyndon Arthur? Always got that big smile on his face, hasn't he, Anthony Yard?
Yeah, cracking fighter, and what a performance that was against Beterbiev. He really showed that he belonged at world level there. I thought he was excellent on that night, but it just wasn't to be. But I think he'll come again, Anthony Yard.
So the final round at welterweight between Northampton's Eithan Jammy James and the Bulgarian Georgi Velichkov. 5 rounds in the bag, and we'll see whether James can get his first stoppage in the professional ranks in the final 3 minutes.
Well, he would have wanted a stoppage here, James, but nevertheless, he's won every round, he's won it comfortable. He's moved up in weight, and up to now, it's been a punch-perfect display. So he'll be pleased deep down. Like I said, preparing for this contest at a new weight, and he'll be much more comfortable. But I hope not too comfortable, because it's got to be hard for every fighter to make the weight. That's part of the discipline. When you're preparing for a contest, you've got to set your standards, and certainly it can't be too easy in the gym in terms of making the weight. It's got to be difficult for all boxers, but not too difficult. And he's been saying it's been affecting his performances, he believes, and he's going to be much stronger at welter.
There is some talk that James might be in with the experienced Lee Appleyard next, if he comes through tonight, which it looks as though he's going to, and comfortably. Let's hope that there'll be a belt of some description potentially on the line that night as well, so that could be next. This has been a straightforward 6-rounder for James to this point, and only some kind of miracle punch from somewhere from Velichkov is going to stop him moving to 11-0.
Nice little right uppercut again there on the inside from James, and now switching to southpaw again. So he's always got that option, and that's why he's just practicing things here, switching feet, switching stance rather, and just crossing them feet occasionally. But nevertheless, he's enjoying it, I think, and just showing his skills. And it's a good thing to have when a boxer can switch from orthodox to southpaw if he does it well, which he appears to do. He's a good switch hitter, is Eithan James, so he's got that up his sleeve also. So yeah, it's been a decent night for him, a decent workout in a new weight division.
Inside the final 30 seconds.
Right.
And it's going to be another win on the board for Eithan James, another points win. And you'd expect Richie's won it in a shutout and a landslide.
Yeah, he's won every round, hasn't he? And quite comfortable. But I think he'll be very pleased deep down, because, like I said, he's moved up in weight. The corner will be happy also. So, yeah, it's been a good night's work for him. It's going to get much tougher, we know that. But that was just a nice introduction to the welterweight division. And he hasn't dropped a round. He doesn't drop many rounds, does he, Eithan James? Very, very technically sound boxer indeed.
Well, the fight against Keenan Wainwright was a bit of an anomaly, wasn't it? Because he'd pretty much won every round as a professional before he went in there with a man who was a late replacement, and he gave him all he could handle. He did come out on the winning side of it and learned a lot about himself that night, but the performance we've just seen against Georgi Velichkov was a lot more stereotypical of the way that Eithan James' professional career has been going.
And probably felt in that last contest against Wainwright that he actually belongs in the welterweight division. He didn't feel comfortable at super lightweight, and so he's moved up. But a good win here tonight.
OK, let's get the scores, let's get the decision. Thomas Triber.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing, our referee in charge, Lee Every, scores this contest 60-54 for your winner, and still undefeated, Eithan "Jammy" James.
So Eithan James moves on to 11-0. He's passed the first test at welterweight, and now we'll see, Paul, what the future has in store for him.
I enjoyed that commentary, fellas. Thank you very much indeed, mainly for the insight.